Hello, this is Dorothy Smith. I'm a close to my heart independent consultant, and today I'm going to bring you some papers that are brand new called I Heart Us. And these papers are the first one that I'm going to do from our new catalog that started January 1st. And since it's January and it's the middle of winter, these papers are guaranteed to cheer you up. They're all bright colors that you'd expect to see in spring and summer. And if you're kind of dragging from the dreary weather, then these will make you happy, I guarantee it. So I'm showing you our new complements that are, it's a sheet of stickers and a sheet of die cut dimensionals. And so they're 6 by 12, and that's coming in each of our kits. And then this comes with two embellishments that are the black shimmer trim, which is a self-stick, which I love, and it contrasts really well with the bright colors. And these beautiful I Heart Us sequins are all iridescent, and they're gorgeous. That's kind of the pinky color and yellow, and then kind of a purplish blue and a green, kind of an aqua green. They're gorgeous, really, really, really pretty. And so those are going to be fun to put down. And I normally don't do this, but I normally show the paper before I cut it. But I went ahead and cut it according to our instructions. I decided to do this basically according to the instructions that are provided with the kit. And so I went ahead and cut all the papers and kind of stacked them up according to their particular layout, which I really like that third layout there. And then hopefully I have it somewhat organized. It's not, I can tell you it's not perfectly organized because that is so not me. Too bad. Too bad for me. So here's the first layout that I'm going to do, and that's first in order with the instructions. And this page I'm showing you because it's one of the 12 by 12 pages, and that's the background paper on the back side. And this is the front, and it's all these elements that you can cut out. There's a wide white area around most of the elements to kind of give you a cutting line to incorporate the white with the image. And so I went through all the instructions and cut out all the ones that go with the 3 two-page layouts, so 6 pages. And I can tell you that there's a lot more of the elements left that allow you to put together any way you want to with the scraps that are remaining from this paper, because we always have enough scraps to make cards or additional pages. And if you add more background cardstock, then you can stretch your paper even further. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll tell you that I've made several mistakes with these layouts. So I'll kind of show you where I've made mistakes here. And like this particular, that's the backside is the blue waves, I think. So I put this down, and of course I didn't read the instructions, and I didn't look very good at the pictures either, because I shouldn't have put it down yet. So the next element that should have gone down were the vertical blue wave paper. So, and the blue vertical wave paper, for some reason, I must have thought it was a scrap and went ahead and cut it in half. And so it should actually be one piece, not 2 pieces. So, woohoo. This particular pink wave paper, scallop paper, is from that 12 by 12. So it is a border element that's included with all the cute little decorative elements. So then you see I'm pulling up the horizontal strips because I've suddenly realized that I was supposed to have put the blue waves down first. So there you go. That's where they're supposed to be, and that's where I didn't put them. So anyway, such is my life. So they go over, I think they start about 1.5 inches over, and then you put one of that blue plaid 1/2-inch zip strip is going to be on the outer element of the, yeah, I almost put it upside down on top of it. So I'm putting it 1.5 inches over, and then I'll put the zip strip down. So there'll just be 1 inch on the outside. So this is, had I not cut that one in half, I would have had that vertical piece down already. So that's the zip strip from one of the papers. And it's going to be its own little decorative element running next to the vertical. So I got those 2 pieces down. Now I've got to inch up my laid down pieces a little bit more to kind of squeeze the second vertical blue in there. And I couldn't, I just decided to go with the 2 pieces, even though I screwed up. I didn't really have enough of the blue paper to get a full size, I think it's a 3-inch piece. So anyway, it's mostly going to get covered up with this bright yellow border paper for it. And this is for a 5x7 picture. So, you know, when you're looking for pictures to go with this paper and you have a favorite one, so you may want to enlarge it to a 5x7. So this can be its background. And so I like that they used a close-up of that cute little girl and have her be on the 5x7 bright yellow background. So it's cute. It's very cute. The next thing I'm going to be putting down are above the 5x7 is going to be a small piece of the black shimmer trim and the kind of washy looking strip that's on the sticker sheet. And so the shimmer trim, I'm putting it kind of above the yellow because the stickers don't really stick well to the shimmer trim. So I want to grab a little strip of the yellow to put the little blue stripe paper on the sticker. So it has something to grab onto because it is hard pressed to stick to that shimmer trim. So, you know, if I put it down, I could use some liquid glass to put it there. And this is one of the cut elements from that 12x12 page I showed you. And so that's going on there that I put some Tombow on, and then the little butterfly is a sticker, and this banner, the little pink polka dot banner, is yeah, I seem to have a habit here. You're getting a theme where I put things down, stick things down before it's supposed to be stuck down. I'm consistent, right? So anyway, I cut the little pink banner in half, and I'm only using a small piece of it to go down here to stick out beyond that little sticker. So it's just gonna, yeah, it's about half, and then I'll put those back in place. And then that other polka dot square is going to be on the right hand page as another background element. So one banner, 2 elements. So I'm going to go ahead and put down the little pretty sequins that, yeah, they're just between purple and blue. They're just so so pretty. And they, even though they're purple and they're going near blue, it still looks really good because, you know, you've got all the bright elements and all the colors, and the blues kind of blend into the purples anyway, so naturally on the rainbow. Now these are the dimensional elements, and they're a little bit more difficult to get out than the stickers, and then they have the little nibs on them from, you know, holding on to the cardstock. So I tried to, you know, kind of scrape them off with the scissor, but that roughs up the edges too much. So if the little nibs bother you very much, then I ended up using my fingernail to just kind of rub them down a little bit, and that way they don't, you know, they don't bother you quite so much. And I love that they used a little heart as the O in love. And the one thing that's nice about not having them stickers is they are dimensional, and so they do stand up from the paper. And, you know, to add interest to either cards or layouts, you want to have some dimensional element. You know, layers, several layers are good, and dimensional elements are good. You know, maybe not something that sticks out way far, but, you know, a little bit that isn't going to, this isn't going to interfere with being in the page protector when it goes into your albums. So, but it does add a little bit more interest when you have some dimension on your paper. You know, it used to be we just, you know, took a 12 by 12 background page and then just stuck a bunch of stickers on it and a bunch of our pictures. And when you look at them now, it's kind of like, oh, that's just not very interesting. And so it's layers and dimensional elements that really add interest to your work. And so this is another sticker that's going to go under love. And so you just kind of, and you know, the compliments we have more than you use on what our layouts use up. So you can, like I said, make your own. You can go wild with making your own layouts. I mean, you can do it anyway. You don't have to follow the instructions if you don't want. I mean, sometimes I don't follow the instructions at all, and I'll just go and either make my own up or go on Pinterest and find something I like and, you know, somewhat duplicate it. I get close, you know, or I make changes to it. So you can either do them as is with the instructions, and they always come out looking nice, or you can make your own up, or you can use other people's ideas. So the fact is, you get many more compliments than what we just use in our normal instructions. So you have a lot of leeway, you know, as far as making your own extra pages. And I just wanted to add a little something to the top, and I really love that rainbow paper. And so, you know, I may have seen somebody who did you know, their own layout, and they had a little strip of the rainbow accent going across the top, and I just really liked it. So I just really like that rainbow paper. Anyway, I made sure that the stripes followed the stripes on the bigger piece. So the yellow starts with yellow at both ends. And on the opposite page, I went from the blue on the left-hand side to the yellow on the right-hand side. So, and that's just the way I did it. I mean, you can do it the way you want to. This happens to be in accordance with the instructions on the what's provided. And so on this one, we're using the blue wave paper as backgrounds for the pictures. And so, see, I almost did it again, but I realized that the blue goes underneath the that rainbow stripe going across. So glad I caught myself. And, you know, once again, I'm using if you're wondering how I'm eyeballing things, I'm using my mat, my Close to My Heart mat, that you can kind of look down at the bottom and you can see that, you know, I've come over 1.5 inches from each side. So, and then by using the side measurements, I went up 1.5 inches or 1.75 inches. And you can kind of eyeball it going across to make sure that you're doing it even. This way, with this, I've got the little dots on the paper that are in rows, and so that makes it easy to make sure I'm lining it up straight. Because sometimes, I tell you, sometimes I see things slanted. I think they're straight, and I look at them later, and it's like, how did it get to be so slanted? But, you know, who knows? Eyes are going. Anywho, so I'm putting my pink wave. So there are 2 of those 12 by 12 pages that have those fun cutout elements. So that's how I had 2 of the pink wave scalloped edges going across for a border. And so this heart is one of the cutout elements also. So I'm just I'm looking for see, I told you I thought that I put all the pieces together for each, but I'm looking for one of the hearts that I couldn't find in the little strip that I couldn't find. It's in amongst the stacks of the other layout. So there's the little heart that was missing. And so see, it's another one of those cutout elements. So cute. Just so cute. Ah. So I'm going to go ahead and put the plaid on top of the blue wave, because that just finishes that off very nicely. Didn't measure it. I'm just, you know, getting close and using the existing paper to cut the right size for the zip strip at the top there. Put it in place and finish off the top of that blue wave. And then I'm going to put my little rainbow stripe on top. I love my little rainbow stripe. So, and I am making sure that I have it lined up with the colors at the bottom. So when I flip it over, see the blue is matching the blue at the top. I mean, at the bottom there. So the top and the bottom are going to match. I don't know if it would make that much difference, but it did to me. So I'm going to take that little square that was left from the cut banner and made another little banner out of it. Didn't have to be perfect cutting my little banner V out. And there's another element that goes with this. There we go. So see, when you see the purple on the back, then that's one of the cut elements from that 12 by 12 page. So there we go. Very cute. So I'm going to put some more elements in, and some little plus signs. I don't know if plus signs, if maybe they're in right now. But I'll put all the rest of the complements where they belong, and then I'll add some more of the sequins to the various places. And then I'm going to go to music, and you can watch what I do, and I will come in and talk when I'm making you aware of something, or I've messed up again and I'm just making you aware that, you know, watch out for this. Now, the one thing I didn't do here, I didn't have my little photo placeholders available. And so I put those on this page later on. And excuse me, this particular page gets excuse me, I think three 3x4s or 3x3s. So anyway, I think this is just really cute. And then I didn't have the paper. I didn't make paper strips for journaling. Excuse me. I'm sorry. So I am going to give my voice a break. And you know what? No, I won't. One thing I didn't do was to, and I think what I could have done was hide the part of the black shimmer trim underneath the rainbow stripe. And so what I'm doing is I took the protective back off of my black shimmer trim, since it's self-stick, and I am cutting my shimmer trim in half. So when I stick it to the cutting board of my Fiskars rail cutter, then I can cut the shimmer trim in half and then just run it along the very bottom edge of the rainbow. And look at how just a small black element it seems to just make the colors pop even more. And so I was really good that they came up with that design so look at that. And it looks nice. But then when you put the black in place, whoops, it's sticking to me. I mean, does that finish it off just so nicely? And it's not a big piece of the black shimmer trim. It's just a real thin piece. I mean, it's probably maybe even less than 1/4 of an inch, because I don't think that the shimmer trim is a full 1/2 inch. And so, I mean, it just a small element really makes the whole thing pop. God, I love the way that looks. Okay, so put my Fiskars. By the way, if you don't have a Fiskars rail cutter, you have the older version that has the wire, I really love the rail cutter. I think you get straighter cuts with the rail cutter, just for your information. So I am going to stop talking now and put some music in, and you can watch me put the next 2 layouts together. Back again, I decided there was a couple of things that I wanted to say about this next layout. So I'm going ahead and putting the mint green down on the kind of a confetti paper, which, how cute is that? If you have any kind of celebration that your kids are doing, then this would be perfect paper for it. So I'm going to go ahead and put the border elements in place. And if you notice, the mint green paper is, excuse me, a tad longer than the confetti paper. And sometimes it happens that the papers aren't, maybe exactly 12 by 12, and that's no problem. Because when you flip it over, you can see that there's a little bit hanging out, and maybe I miscut my zip strip, or whatever the reason. But you can take that extra paper off just with your Fiskars or your paper trimmer, whatever kind of paper trimmer you use. And so, I just wanted to let you know that is something that happens on occasion, not very often, but it does happen. And it's not, too big of a deal. Now, this is one of the stickers, so it's another border sticker. And it's the rainbow, but it's done on a slant. And so I really like that. So we have 2 elements of the rainbow stickers that are really cute. Now this one is just straight, and this is I'm putting together another frame matte 5x7 for a picture, a 5x7 picture, to go on this layout, on the left-hand side of the layout. And so, but the other element, if you look at the, well, I'm putting this down. So if you see, I'm using my Close to My Heart mat again. And I'm using, eyeballing from top to bottom and side to side to get the placement of the mat the way they suggest. So I'm going to pop up the flower with my foam dimensional stickers here. These are from the shaker cards. Hello. Must be getting late. I'm getting tired. Anyway, I'm popping up the flower that I cut out from that 12x12 paper, and what a sweet little flower. I love that. So I'm popping it up to get it away from the picture, and that's kind of nice. It casts a little shadow on the picture, so that adds the dimension, that I was talking about, that adds the real interest to the scrapbook pages. And the other little element that's going to go on here is another little dimensional element. It's just a little one. And I'm going to add dimension to my dimensional element and just use a very small piece of the shaker foam adhesive. And so it's going to pop up even more than the paper one. So, like I said, you can't dimension. Yes, you can have too much dimension, but not when it's paper and cardstock. So there's another little flag, little banner that's real cute. You put a little heart on it, and I'm going to pop it up. I probably should have kept it away from the bottom of the banner, because it's going to get in the way of the when I put the photo placement down, or a photo for that matter. And so I'm going to put a piece of the according to the instructions, the black shimmer trim, just sort of like the the first page that we did. I mean, we're carrying elements from one layout to the next, so that if you use them together, you're being consistent. And and then I'm going to add these are pink. I thought they look kind of white at first, but then you look at them and they really have a strong pale pink element to them, but still iridescent. And when you put them on the lavender, then they pick up kind of a lavender hue too. So really, really pretty. And then also I'm adding some green, the green sequins to the bottom of the page on top of the mint. So such a cute page. It's you can't say it's not cheery without that confetti paper going on the left-hand side. And so this is for a 5x7, in case you couldn't read that. I'm sorry. I don't know why I think I've got to get so close to the camera. But so a 5x7, another 5x7 picture is going to go here. And this time it's a horizontal picture as opposed to the vertical picture on the first layout. And there you go. Very, very cute. And this is one of the, I think this was cut from a zip strip. And it says, "You are my everything." So, very cute. And the next page is going to be the mint paper is going to be the baseline, as opposed to the last one that was the confetti paper. And so we're going to do the baseline mint, and we're putting the kind of pink dotted Swiss paper going down the center. And so it's going 4 inches down from the top, and with my layout mat, makes it real easy, especially when it goes from one end to the other. Thank you. That one's real easy to do, and we like easy when we can get it. So, the little yellow 1/4 inch strips go from one end to the other, and they're going to rise a little bit above and below the top of the, I guess is that a 4-inch strip? That must be a 4-inch strip of pink. And so you have a lot of horizontal elements going on here. So you've got the whole pink strip, but then it's getting cut by the yellow. So you end up having 5 horizontal elements. And then my favorite is this rainbow, the slanted rainbow border, but it's scalloped. Oh my goodness, how cute. So that's going from one end to the other. And I just wanted to point out that, when you look at it, when you first look at it on the sticker page, you can't really tell that it's a scalloped edge. But when I saw that it was actually a scalloped edge, it was like, okay, I love that. I just love that. And I guess you could even use the bottom part of the scallop if you wanted to go nuts. But I'm not going to do that right now. I'll save you from me going nuts. So I'm just going to put the other elements in place. And these are going to be the dimensional elements. So I'm using my fingernail to scrape off the little nibs. And these will go down towards the lower right-hand corner. And then I'm going to take a voice break here and let you watch the rest of this while I've got some music playing. Hopefully you like the music. And here we go. I'm back again. I hope you like the music. So what I'm going to tell you on this layout, the background paper, the baseline paper, I don't know if you can see it on your computer, but it's tiny little black hearts. So you want to make sure that the hearts are pointing in the right direction, first of all. And the mint cardstock that is making a triangle was cut. Let me tell you how it was cut. I used I put the piece, the 12 by 12 piece, on my black cutting mat. This is a cutting mat, a layout mat, and if you flip it over, it's a stamping mat because it's got very soft foam on the backside, perfect for stamping. And so I couldn't cut this because the diagonal is longer than 12 inches if you remember your right triangle geometry from 10th grade. So the diagonal is longer than 12 inches. So I got one of my longer rulers and went from corner to corner, and then I got an X-Acto knife, and I cut it from corner to corner because my Fiskars is a 12-inch paper cutter. Some of you probably have larger paper cutters, so you could do this on the diagonal, but mine is not. So for those of you who don't have a very large paper trimmer, if you have a cutting mat or a surface that you can cut on, then I would use an X-Acto knife or a single edge razor blade and go from corner to corner with your ruler, and do it carefully, and please don't bleed on your paper. So be careful when you do that, but that's how I did it. So, and then, you know, as far as the zip strip, the black and white striped 1/2-inch paper is a zip strip from one of the pages. And because, once again, the diagonal is longer than 12 inches, that's why I cut it in half and just covered the corners, because the piece in the middle was enough to cover up all the stuff that's missing. And so at a later time, then you'll flip the paper over and you'll cut the square off to match the shape of the corner of the paper. And so, and the yellow and the dark and light yellow striped paper is supposed to be on an angle as you see it. And so now we're using our yellow sequins to go along with the yellow paper, which I really love all these sequins. Did I say that? They kind of have a scallopy edge to them, so they're just super, super, super cute. So I'm putting all of my little elements in place, and once again, there are so many elements left for you to make, you know, additional pages, or even if you've got more pictures than you have scrapbook pages, which happens a lot, I know that you know this, you could actually make some little, you could use a 12 by 12 layout paper page protector that has 4 by 6 pockets in it, and then you could use some of the leftover elements to make little extra 4 by 6 highlighting elements to go into the pocket protector, if that makes any sense at all. I'm putting 2 4 by 6 layouts on pictures on this frame that we just made. But so I'm saying, if you've got, see, now I'm going to cut off the extra paper on the ends to coincide with the corner of the paper. So you've got a sharp, there we go, at both ends. So how cute is that? it looks more complicated than it is. When you start putting it together, it's like, okay, that's pretty darn easy, you know, using the diagonal elements. So, I mean, I like that. And I like the diagonal pages for a change of pace rather than everything square. I really like things on the diagonal. So, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and continue with this. And this is similar to the left side. The right side is similar to the left side. Once again, make sure that your hearts are pointing in the right direction and that you're putting your tombow on the right side of your cardstock, because our cardstock, so the mint color it's on both sides, but one is a shade lighter than the other. So if you're going to use light on one side, make sure and use light on the other. And my dog is crying right now. I don't know if you can hear her, but so you probably want to have them, in this case, match. So make sure that you put your tombow on the correct side so that you don't have one dark side and one light side. And I guess to go along with the zip strip, the black and white zip strip, you could put a whole piece of the black shimmer trim, but I think it would be a little bit too strong. What I like about their use of black on these light colored layouts is that they're small elements. They're not, they're not in your face amounts of black to overpower the color. So you want to enjoy the color, but still have the sharpness and crispness that the black shimmer trim gives you. I don't know why I can't remember the name of it every time I say it. It's pitiful. So I'm putting the paper frame in place here. I've got the confetti, the opposite side of the confetti paper is the yellow striped paper. So the yellow stripe looks really, really nice with this layout too. So I need to get, if you're going to use the grid pattern to lay your things out, you want to make sure that your paper is matched up to the corners so that you don't accidentally put things on a slant. It's kind of nice having the little hearts there because they're in even rows, so you can kind of make sure that you're even that way. But this is where having just a little piece of washi tape on the corners of your background, your baseline, base page, would help keep everything straighter. I mean, you see every time I move any of the additional pieces of cardstock, I'm moving the whole background. So it would really be helpful to have the washi tape holding the whole baseline page in place. And what I'm doing here is I'm putting the photo holders on so I can kind of more easily figure out where I want to put. There's a zip strip that goes down the middle of this lagoon colored mat. And so I'm just going to put the little photo holders in place, and then I can kind of take the zip strip and snuggle it under the little photo holders, placeholders, and kind of get it in the right spot to go down the center of the frame or mat. It's not really a frame, it's a mat. So I'm just going to tuck it under there a little bit and then cut off the remaining piece even with the background. So, and then put it in place. And then the next piece is going to be that upper corner, the upper left-hand corner. And that's going to be somewhat of a title title part of the page. So it's called You Are So Loved. So I think that's a perfect title for this these layouts. I mean, and this is the final layout with this group. So we're putting the flower elements in place, and there's some stickers and some of the cutout elements, which are cute little berries. Love those. And then I'll put the title with the loved. So I'll put loved first. And the other neat thing is I talk about elements that carry from one page to the next and throughout the consistency. So there's a white edge, a significant white edge around the lettering of You Are So Loved, which goes along with the stickers that have a strong white edge and all the cutout elements that I had. And the consistency is what, you know, you may not, it may not come to mind consciously, but it's carried from one layout to the next. And, you know, it's what makes the elements go together, artistically speaking. So it's consistent. And that's what you want with when you're making a layout, whether it's a card or whatever. You want to make sure that you're consistent, not to the point of being boring. So you want to throw some excitement in there, but you want to have it make sense. So all of the elements make sense. If you just had one thing that had the strong white edge on it, it would look like you didn't do a finished job of cutting out the piece. So it would stand out and look awkward. And this way, everything is all the same. So you know that it's supposed to be that way. And it's part of the art. And so I kind of, not being an artistic person at all, I mean, I'm a science person, more of a biology person. This is parts of art that I just didn't really appreciate or even know about or even acknowledge. I wouldn't have even thought about it until I start working closely with all of these things. So now I'm just going to go ahead and cut off the extra piece of zip strip and shimmer trim. So I've got my nice sharp corner again. And, you know, honestly, we're learning art when we're doing these things. We're learning things that we don't even realize. And so there's the layout, the final layout for the workshops your way. The rest is up to you. And so I hope you would enjoy this paper. I thought, as happens to me so often, it's like, oh, I don't know if I like that. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, when I work with it, it's like, oh my goodness, I love this. So, I'm learning about art without even realizing it. And I end up learning appreciation for something that I thought I didn't care for. So it's important, as in many aspects of life, it's important to give things a try and, not just judge right off the bat. Not to get preachy, but, don't just judge off the bat. Learn about it, see if this is something that, maybe you misjudged and it turns out to be something that you really like. And that could end up being a person too that you maybe didn't care for, you thought you didn't care for, and then you give them a little bit more time and learn a little bit more about them, and gee, all of a sudden they're really, really nice. I mean, I've had, a number of friends that, it's like, well, I don't know. I don't know that we could be friends, and then you find out, oh my goodness, we're really good friends. And so I'm just putting my placeholders down, which means I had to pull up, of course, another element, the story of my life. And so even the little sequin is kind of in the way here, but I'm just kind of getting it all together here. I'll get there eventually. So thank you so much for watching my video, and I have to tell you, I really appreciate, for those of you who have subscribed to my YouTube channel, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I normally don't like to do videos this long. I normally would have done each of these as a single video, but I just started digging into this paper, and before you know it, I had everything cut, and there you go. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you consider getting this paper, because it's really lovely and really cheerful, and can be used for so many different things. You could even use it for Valentine celebrations coming up. Take care. Thanks for watching. Bye now.